I recently got promoted at work. So I used to work as the senior technical writer at Cockroach Labs, and I now work as the staff technical writer at Cockroach Labs. And I wanted to celebrate my promotion and share this news with all of you because you have seen my technical writing journey over the past 2 years. So I thought it would be interesting to kind of document this milestone as well. And then I realized that I haven't really shared my technical writing career journey so far on this channel ever. And that's kind of weird because I get this question quite often about how did I become a technical writer. So I thought this was a good occasion to finally share that story. So that's what this video is about. So this is going to be a pretty chill, chatty video. I don't think I have made a video like this before. So just settle in, get a beverage of your choice, and it's story time. So my technical writing career began in 2009. I graduated in 2009 with a bachelor's degree in electronics engineering from University of Pune, which is my hometown. And even before I graduated, I had landed a job through what is called campus placements, which is where companies come on campus before graduation and they recruit students. So I'd gotten a really good job as a VLSI engineer at a company called Wipro even before I graduated. And I was supposed to join that company right after I graduated. But 2009 is when recession hit. So my joining date was postponed by 6 months, and it was in the early 2010. So suddenly I had like 6 whole months of free time with nothing else to do and no plans. And I didn't know what to do with that time. But I knew that I didn't want to waste that time. So I started looking for like courses or like things to do, things to learn. And I came across a technical writing course that was being offered by one of the local institutions in my hometown. And I was an engineer who liked to write, so I thought that was like the perfect course for me. So I enrolled for that course. It was a 3 months course and it was 2 hours every day, I think. And it was a pretty basic introductory course, but it did introduce me to the field of tech writing. And the instructor was fabulous. And I had a really good time in the class and I had a lot of fun. I made friends and it was just a really good use of my time before I joined my full-time job at Wipro. And then I joined Wipro in 2010 and I worked for a year and a half as a VLSI engineer, and the work involved designing and testing electronic chips. I also used to help out on the data sheets for those chips, and I realized that I like the data sheets work more than I like the actual designing and testing work. After a year and a half of being an engineer, I was like, I think I want to go back to tech writing. That was way more fun than this job. So I told my parents, and being the incredibly supportive parents that they are, they were like, okay, you want to leave this really secure, prestigious job as an engineer and you want to move to this field that we have never heard about. But sure, like go try it, see how it goes. If you don't like it, we can figure something else out. Give it a try. So I started looking for jobs as a technical writer and I found one at Symantec. I did land my first position as a technical writer at Symantec, and I left my job as an engineer and moved full-time to technical writing. And looking back, I can see that that was a very risky but a very good decision. So Symantec is where I learned user documentation. Team at Symantec was very strong. I had 3 really good mentors at the company, and one of them was my manager and 2 of them were senior co-workers, and they had very established careers as tech writers. So they kind of helped me think through how my career could look like in a few years, and that job was a very good introduction to the industry of technical writing. That is where I learned the basics of being a tech writer, like working with subject matter experts, gathering information, attending meetings, managing your own work, collaborating with other writers. And I worked at Symantec for I think 2.5 years, and by that time I'd gotten really good at the job and it wasn't as much fun anymore. It wasn't challenging me anymore. I thought I was getting complacent, and I know that about myself, that when I feel I'm getting complacent, I start getting restless and then I want to move on. So I could feel myself getting there. So I just casually started looking for opportunities. Like I had no plans to leave Symantec. I was just doing it just to see if there were anything better out there. And then I came across this job at a company called Druva. The job was for an engineering documentation position. So that was my first introduction to the world of developer documentation. And what it basically meant was that I was supposed to create documentation for the engineers so that when new engineers join the company, they would have a knowledge base to refer to. And also, it would help capture the intellectual property of the company. And I was supposed to work directly with the CTO. And my manager was the VP of engineering. So the way I used to describe my job is to transcribe the CTO's brain and make it understandable to the other engineers in the company. And the CTO is probably one of the smartest people I've ever met. And he is also a very good technical communicator. Like, he has this way of explaining technology to you in very understandable terms. So it helped me become a better technical writer as well. The software was an enterprise backup and restore software, but you back up and restore data to a database. So I ended up learning everything I know about databases from that job. And I worked at Druva for about 1.5 years. And again, it started getting easy. I started feeling complacent and I started getting restless. And by that time, I had also started thinking about getting a formal education in technical writing, because by then the imposter syndrome had started taking hold about I'm an engineer who can get away with writing, but I'm not a writer. So I wanted to get some formal education in technical writing. So I started Googling for like courses and stuff, and then I realized that there are so many master's programs in technical communication. So that seemed like the next logical step. And I hadn't expected to find any programs, and then I found so many of them that the problem became, how do I choose the right program for me? So the first filter I applied in the program selection process was, do I want to do a Master of Science program or do I want to do a Master of Arts program? And being an engineer, I am like, of course I'm going to do a Masters of Science program. So I looked at only the Master of Science in technical communication programs. So the second filter I applied was, do I want to do a theory and research focused program or do I want to do a practical industry focused program? And I knew that I wanted to go back to the industry after my master's. So I chose to go for an industry focused program. And I narrowed it down to 3 choices, and the final choice was Missouri S&T. The university also offered me teaching assistantship, which is basically you teach technical writing to undergraduate students while you are learning yourself. And so the stipend from that position would cover my fees and my living expenses. So that sounded like a really good deal. Like, why wouldn't I take it? So I did take it, and then I came to the US, to Rolla, Missouri in August 2015 to pursue my master's in technical communication. And I started teaching at the university as well. And that's when I realized that I really liked teaching technical writing. So I completed my program in 2 years. And when I graduated, I again had to make a choice of whether do I want to go back to the industry and try to get a job that would sponsor my work visa, my H-1B visa, or do I want to pursue a PhD and then go into teaching technical writing full time. And I decided that I could always do the PhD and teaching route at any point in my career. But the OPT H-1B visa thing was like a one-time opportunity. So the way the H-1B visa works is that if you have a STEM degree, you get 3 chances, like 3 years to try to apply for the H-1B visa. But mine was a non-STEM program, which meant I had just 1 chance to apply for the visa. And it is literally a lottery. Like, it is a lottery system. So I was like, let me try my luck. If I get lucky and if I get selected through the lottery, I will go join the industry. If not, I'll go to a PhD. So I started looking for jobs that would sponsor a work visa, and I found Cockroach Labs. And the reason I loved Cockroach Labs, it was love at first sight because it was a startup, and I love startup because I had enjoyed my work at Druva. And it was a database company, and I had already had a good foundational understanding of databases, again through my work at Druva. And they had international employees, so I assumed they would be okay sponsoring a visa. So I went through the interview process, got selected, and again, that was the most fun interview process I've ever gone through. Like, it was a very practical. We do an exercise based interview process. So it was actually creating documentation and working with engineers and figuring things out. And everybody seemed so supportive and so collaborative. I had a really good day during the interview process. So it felt like a very natural match. And when they offered me the job, it was like I took it without any question. And so I joined Cockroach Labs, and that is probably the best thing I've done in my life so far. Not only do we have very strong products, but we have a very strong culture. Like even before I joined the company, when like there was a time between when I interviewed and when I got the offer letter, I was defending my thesis, and Lindsay, our head of people, used to check in and see if I was doing okay, like if I was feeling prepared for the thesis defense, and if I was like doing mentally okay, did I need anything, did I need any support. And it was just a very human and a very supportive thing for her to do, and she didn't need to do it, but she still did. And my manager Jesse is also one of the kindest, generous, and the most patient manager I have ever worked with, and he is my tech writing idol. Like, he is so good at his job. If I can get to like 20% as good as a writer as he is, I would be so much better than I am right now. So it's really good to work in a supportive environment where you have idols to look up to. Like, there's no wonder that every video I make turns into a love letter to Cockroach Labs, because they have earned my loyalty for life, basically. And then 3 years later, here we are. I got promoted and I'm now the staff technical writer at Cockroach Labs. So this is literally the highest level in our current career stack. There is no other level after this. I have a feeling we will add more levels as we grow as a company, but for now, this is it. And it feels really good to be here. And so when I make videos and I introduce myself going forward, you'll hear me say, "Hi, I'm Amrita. I'm the staff technical writer at Cockroach Labs." And it makes me really happy and really proud to be able to say that. So yeah, I just wanted to share this journey with you, and also kind of wanted to take this opportunity to reflect on it and see what elements played a role in me being here. And I've realized that my journey has been the perfect example of luck is opportunity meets preparation. The key to me being here has been my passion for the field. I genuinely love this field. This is what I would do even if nobody paid me for it. I love technology and I love reading about it and studying it and then explaining it to somebody else. I love creating content, and it's just my passion. That, like, I can't tell you the number of weekends I've spent trying to learn a new technology or trying to analyze tutorials to see what elements of those tutorials I can incorporate in my writing so that my writing is stronger. So yeah, I just love this field. And the second part of my success, I think, is just winning lottery. I feel like I've won so many lotteries in life. Like, to start with, I won the family lottery. My parents have been incredibly supportive. I know that if I am not successful or something goes wrong or I just get bored, I can always go back home and they'll be like, "Oh yeah, how was the adventure? Welcome back home." So just having that psychological safety of having a place to go back to is an incredible privilege. And not just my parents, my brother, my best friend, my entire extended family. I have a very strong social safety net to fall back upon if this thing doesn't work out. So that has been incredibly helpful in me being able to take risks, because I knew if something went wrong, I have my family to fall back on. The second lottery I've won is just the incredible people I've met along the way. All the mentors, all the managers, all the co-workers who saw the potential in me and believed in me, that helped me believe in myself to want to be ambitious and then find out more challenging opportunities and to go after them. So just having very strong allies in your corner makes all the difference. And then the third lottery I won is literally the H1B lottery. So yeah, I am pretty lucky and blessed, and I do not take it for granted. That's why I started this channel, to honor my love of teaching technical writing. I hope I can be that person for somebody else that so many people have been for me. That's it. That's all I wanted to share today. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.